Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be the most beautiful being in existence? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, let me tell you about Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, and why her life was actually a nightmare wrapped in golden silk. Picture this. You wake up every morning knowing that literally everyone who sees you will instantly fall madly in love with you. Sounds amazing? Think again. Imagine never knowing if someone genuinely cares about you as a person, or if they're just mesmerized by your divine beauty. Every conversation, every relationship, every friendship, all tainted by this overwhelming power you never asked for. Now, you're probably thinking, but she's a goddess. She has ultimate power. Well, here's where things get interesting. Sure, Aphrodite could make anyone fall in love with anyone else, but she couldn't control her own heart. The goddess of love was cursed to fall for the most inappropriate people at the worst possible times. Can you imagine being married to Hephaestus, the god of fire and metalworking? Not exactly Mr. Universe material. He was described as limping, sweaty, and covered in soot from working at his forge all day. The marriage was arranged by Zeus as punishment, and Aphrodite found herself trapped in a loveless union while her heart yearned for others. But here's where things get really messy. Remember that uncontrollable beauty I mentioned? Well, it didn't just affect mortals. Gods, titans, even her own family members will lose their minds over her. Do you see how suffocating that would be? Never having a moment of peace, never being able to just exist without causing chaos wherever you went. What would you do if your very presence started wars? Because that's exactly what happened to Aphrodite. The most famous example, the Trojan War. All because three goddesses, including Aphrodite, couldn't agree on who was the fairest, and she had to bribe Paris with Helen of Troy's love. Thousands died because of her beauty contest. Can you imagine carrying that guilt? Many of you are probably wondering about her love affairs. Sure, she had passionate romances with Ares, the god of war, and Adonis, the gorgeous mortal hunter. But think about it. Were these relationships based on genuine connection or just mutual physical attraction and divine manipulation? When you have the power to make anyone desire you, how do you ever know if love is real? Now, you're probably thinking, at least she had power and respect. But here's the brutal truth. Aphrodite was often seen as frivolous and dangerous by the other gods. They needed her. After all, love and procreation keep the world going, but they also feared and resented her unpredictable nature. She was simultaneously worshipped and blamed for every romantic disaster across Greece. But here's where things get even more tragic. Despite all her power over love, Aphrodite herself was subject to heartbreak. When Adonis died, she grieved so deeply that she created the anemone flower from his blood and her tears. For all her divine abilities, she couldn't protect the one she truly cared about from fate itself. Can you imagine the loneliness? Being surrounded by people who worship you, desire you, fear you, but never actually know you? Aphrodite was trapped in a golden cage of her own beauty and power, watching the world burn with passion while she remained fundamentally alone. What would you choose if you had to live Aphrodite's life? The power to inspire the greatest love stories ever told, but never experience genuine love yourself? The ability to create life and beauty, but also destruction and chaos? To be simultaneously the most desired and most isolated being in existence? Do you see it now? Being Aphrodite wasn't about living in paradise. It was about being cursed with a power so overwhelming that it consumed everything good in her existence. She was less a goddess and more a force of nature, beautiful and terrible, creating and destroying with equal measure. That's why it truly sucked to be Aphrodite. Not because she lacked power or beauty, but because she had too much of both, and not nearly enough of what really mattered: authentic human connection and the freedom to choose her own destiny. If this story opens your eyes to the dark side of divine beauty, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mythology that'll make you question everything you thought you knew. And here's something to think about. Would you rather be irresistibly beautiful but eternally lonely, or completely ordinary but capable of genuine love? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you choose.